snowing up on the mountain over there. Down here, almost too dry though. I had this big bonfire pile that I wanted to burn all winter. Last couple of years we've had a kind of a winter barbecue bonfire party, and it just never did happen this year. We wanted to, and never could get everybody together at the same time, and it just, either the weather was miserable or there was some reason we didn't. And now it's almost a little bit scary. I wanted to do it when there was snow on the ground, especially after something like the Amish store happened. You know, it kind of worries me. Get somebody's hayfield over, like over here across the road here. There's a lot of tall grass and cattails over there. Get that caught on fire, and that's not good. So I loaded up the water truck with water, and I sprayed the edge of the road here on both sides and sprayed out as far as I could into that hayfield and kind of around this big old pile of stuff. I don't think it'll go anywhere. If you go to try to burn some of these weeds and things on purpose, it's pretty hard to get them to do it. But that's a hot fire, and it's going to be a hot fire for an hour or two. Hopefully the wind doesn't pick up. Yesterday I was going to do this, and then with that water well, I'm glad I didn't, because I ended up doing the water well thing, and the wind picked up. So it was blowing pretty good too. So kind of saved me probably a little bit of trouble there. The well, the water did come back up into the well. It took most of the day to do it though. So I don't know. When we moved in here last September, it was September, it was after the fair last year, we were having a little bit of trouble with the water then, but it was mostly because at the fairgrounds here, they tapped into a spring and lots of water. I mean, it does this whole fairgrounds plus our house, and Cindy had hoses running 24 hours a day, days on end in places, and same with on the fairgrounds itself we did, plus all the food booths and, you know, lots of water. This place, the well's really shallow, and can't do that. I think there's enough water if we're careful with it. It's hard to do things like water the trees and have a garden though. So have to change our ways a little bit as far as how we do things. And several people said that you need to build a trailer with a water tank on it. And that was kind of already in the plans. I'm going to do that. I've been looking for those water cubes. They got a metal cage around them. They're usually 4 or 5 foot square, and metal pallet with a metal cage around it. And this is what I was talking about with those tanks that have the cage around them. They're an IBC tank. I don't know what IBC stands for, but they're pretty well made. They're heavy duty plastic with a metal box around them, cage around them. So they're pretty durable. But the ones I was looking at, for old worn out ones, I could get them for about $50. But, you know, plastic gets brittle in the sun. I don't know if that stuff does or not. But new ones that are food grade are about $300 or more. And there was some lady up there in Missoula or Hamilton area last fall that had some for $150, and I was going to go and get 2 of them, but we never made it up there. So they're around. I just got to look for them and see what I can come up with. I had a couple of those found, but they're kind of a lot of money. I wanted to look around, see if I can't find some cheaper, but that's going to happen for sure. I got to do it, because if we can store up some water, at least for the trees in the yard, it would be a big help. And that fire is hot. Amazing stuff, you know it. Stuff can keep you alive or it can make you dead. Before I started this, like I said, I filled up the water truck. I put some in the indoor riding barn, and it gets so dusty in there. Last time I watered in there was last fall. Can't do it in the wintertime because it freezes and the pump and stuff will freeze and break in the tractor or the water truck, and it's too much of a hassle. They have to drain it in and out, and there's not much water in the ditch in the winter anyway. Like I said, then it freezes in the barn and people can't ride in there anyway. So by now it gets really dusty, and I splashed some in there, almost a half a load, which is a lot. And next thing on the list is this size down a little bit. I got to put that tractor arena rake on there, the plow, and plow that up. And probably this racetrack, the horse racetrack's looking awful dry already, which is amazing. Usually I don't do that this early, but this year, a little different year. Look up here, all these mountains up here, they're pretty bare of snow. Little patch here. There should be more snow up there this time of year. Might be a problem. Man, that's a hot fire. I can only imagine what that Amish store was like. That was a big place, and that had to have burned awfully hot. Feel bad for them folks, but it does sound like they are going to rebuild. I was hoping they would. They're good people. I'd like to have them stay here. Drove around to the other side of the fence, and I don't think that's going anywhere. Even so, I'll hang around for quite a while and do other things around here and keep an eye on it. It's amazing how fast a big pile of wood like that shrinks down. You know, it wasn't solid, lots of airspace in between boards, but even so, that was a good sized pile of lumber and things, and it's already about a third what it was. That'll keep burning probably for a couple of days. It's a little bit at least. And here when it does die down, there's some stuff that were outside the edges. I'll have to go get the tractor and push them into the middle again. A lot of nails and things in that too. And this is the edge of the horse hay field where we had our horses and our burro and that cow, and during the fair they have the rodeo horses in there, and nails and horses and cows don't mix. So that's one of the reasons. All this dirt over here, these big piles of dirt, that came out from where the indoor arena is now, and the some of the come from the bathrooms where they excavated for that. They took that mud out and they put better dirt with gravel and rock in it in place so they could build on it. And I could have smoothed that out, but I didn't. And part of the reason why is when this gets burnt down enough, I'll bury all that so the nails and things are under a foot or more of dirt, and keep that safe. This whole fairgrounds, you know, gets used, and there isn't really a good spot for a bonfire. We used to do it in the back, and that wasn't really a good spot because it's ugly, and it's close to other properties over there too. And then after I burned it, People didn't seem to realize that that used to be a fire pit, and they'd park in there, and lots of nails. I mean, I never heard anybody getting a flat, but I bet some did. Man, my face is red from being close to that fire. That thing is hot. But it is dying down. I guess I'll go and plow up the racetrack and the indoor arena. Cindy's down at the horse stalls, kind of shoveling them out. I told her to wait for me, but she's stubborn. She kind of rakes them to the door, and then I'll shovel them out into the tractor bucket, which is a huge help, but makes me feel guilty every time she's doing that. And here I am sitting here watching a bonfire, but it all needs to get done, and this is burned down enough I can go away from it now. Like I say, it's a little bit scary until it does burn down some, that if the wind picks up, that could still be a problem, but I don't think it's very likely now. About half of the rodeo arena is dry enough to do anything. A lot of it's still got ice and standing water. But it's draining, slowly but surely. The earliest I've ever been able to do any of this, really. Getting there, by golly. Pile's a lot smaller than it was. Just kind of piled it up again, and that'll burn up pretty well, I think. Well, anyway, folks, about all I got for today. Just kind of getting spring chores started. See you tomorrow. Bye.